Hola fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Deluxe Class Predacon Sandstorm from the Transformers Legacy line from Hasbro. And this is another one of those Walmart exclusive Kingdom repaints that they're doing. Very similar to the Buzzsaw I took a look at not too long ago. He does have a new head. As you can see, we'll get into that a little bit later on. But we are in the Legacy packaging here, so we have the Scorpion mode on the front. Got some nice artwork of the robot mode over here on this side. Do have a plastic window, which is something that's new. Hoping that trend continues. Got the typical Decepticon mural here over on this side. Not really too much going on the top or bottom. And then on the back here, again, we just have shots of the robot mode and the Scorpion mode. I wasn't a huge fan of this mold, but I really like this color scheme, so they suckered me into getting it again. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this guy out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here's Sandstorm out of the packaging, and I really like this color scheme. It really shouldn't work because it doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of a sandy tan with orange and purple, but I do really kind of like it a lot. I think the head sculpt looks pretty cool. As you can see here, we have the monster head. So while Scorponok came with the more show-accurate robot head, we have the original toy monster head here. Really like the red eyes. Got a little bit of orange here and an otherwise tan head. And then you've got kind of a golden brown here for his mouth mandibles, I guess. I'm not really quite sure what those are called. But overall, I like the head design. Now, the head's on kind of a weird ball joint. So normally, you can kind of look up about that much. Can't really look down all that much. Can certainly swivel side to side. Not really much tilt side to side. But if you kind of bring it like forward a little bit, it comes off very easily. And you can see how it's just this ball joint here with this large channel. So if you put it on like this, you could really have him look all the way forward if you want, like if he's flying, something like that. And then you can kind of bring this down, and then you can get like a really like loose range of motion, but you're supposed to kind of push it back so that it kind of clicks into place on that channel, and then it kind of stays in place. So you kind of have some options there with the head. If you want that extra mobility, you can kind of bring it a little bit forward in that channel in the back of his head. It's up to you. If you want a more kind of solid, less jittery bobblehead, then you want to kind of push that back so it kind of gets snug in place. For here on the shoulders, you have a swivel. You do kind of have this joint here, which is really more for transformation in like the body, where the body meets the shoulder. If you want to utilize that, you certainly can. You also have a hinge here underneath the shoulder pad. You have a bicep swivel. You have 90 degrees there in the elbow. You can actually bend backwards, so I guess you have about 180, which is interesting. You do have a swivel here, too, where the claw kind of meets the forearm, and then, of course, the claws can open. And you can see that we have a peg hole there. He does come with 2 accessories. So he has his little Cyber Bee, which is pretty nicely painted. I like the metallic purple there for the bee eyes, and then, of course, they've painted the wings. And so we will just go ahead and peg this in. You can see that it has a rather large peg on the back of it, and that just kind of pegs in there, and then you can close it up. If you'd rather it be oriented this way, you can do that as well. It's up to you, so whatever you prefer. In the waist, you do have a bit of a swivel, but it kind of gets in the way with the tail here. So you can see that the legs kind of hit the tail. If you want to open the legs up a little bit and kind of move this back out of the way, you can get a much larger range of motion here with the waist, but still not really a ton, because the legs just kind of hit in the back of this piece, which is not movable. So it's up to you depending on where you want to position that tail. You can get a little bit more range of motion there. The hips you can kick out to the side pretty good, kick all the way forward. He could kick back again if that tail wasn't in the way. You have a thigh swivel. You have a nice, I would say a little bit over 90-degree bend there in the knee. And then you have a little bit of movement here with the ankles, mostly due to transformation, but you do, of course, have the ankle tilt as well. Got some nice orange paint here on top of the other orange. So you got kind of two-tone orange going on here. And then you have purple back here for the Scorpion legs, which just kind of tuck back as best as you possibly can. And you have a little bit of purple up here for the Stinger as well. So he is mostly tan and orange. Oh, I forgot there's a little bit of purple here inside, kind of where the claws connect to the arms as well. So the little couple flashes of purple, I feel like, pop against the other, colors. So it's a nifty color scheme. Like I said, it's kind of crazy. Oh, I forgot, we do have another accessory for this claw. He has his 2 little missiles that you just kind of pop in here. Now, they are one solid piece, kind of hollow on the bottom. So whereas the original toy could fire 2 spring-loaded missiles, this is kind of just for show. So they just kind of hide in there. They don't fire, they don't separate. They just kind of hang out in there. But yeah, overall, like I said, I was not a huge fan of this original mold. I always felt like he was too squat. I really felt like they should have done Scorponok as a Voyager to do him justice. Because, I mean, he's small. Like, just to show you, here's another Deluxe in Pterosaur, and he's like 1.5 times taller than Scorponok / Sandstorm. But it's just, this mold is very squat, very compact, and I just don't know why they decided to do that. I feel like he should have been a Voyager so they could give him a little bit more room. But it's all right. I mean, this robot mode's not bad. I do love the giant claws. I like the tail on the back. I wish the legs tucked back a little bit more. The whole midsection just feels a little squashed. So, I mean, overall, he just feels a little squashed. But I do like the new mutant head or monster head, whatever you want to call it. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get this again in original toy colors, which are mostly black and red. And I think that's probably going to have the monster head as well. But we'll have to wait and see. I think that's going to be part of like a 4-pack for Target or something like that. But yeah, in the meantime, it's a okay mold. It's not the best, but I do really like this color scheme. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get into the transformation here. If you've transformed Scorponok, this transforms exactly the same way. And it's a weird one, I gotta be honest. So let's see, we're going to start by kind of tilting the head back a little bit so that we can open up this chest plate here, which is a little easier said than done. You kind of have to find some room to open this up. But once you have that, you're going to kind of just tilt the head in. It doesn't go all the way in, it kind of just stops right there. It almost looks like he's trying to jab himself in the eyes with these little tabs here. So just kind of stops about there. You're going to kind of swing these up just to kind of get them out of the way. We're going to come down here to the... Well, actually, we should come to the back first and just kind of pop out the scorpion legs just to kind of get them out of the way. This whole panel will kind of just come down a little bit and really just kind of rotate all these things on the little ball joints they're on so that they face towards the outside. So bring these all out of the way here. You're going to slide the arms up like so, and then you can kind of position the scorpion arms however you like. If you like the claws facing up like this, you could do that. If you want them kind of to the side, you can do that. That is the one thing that I do think this mold has over the original toy, because the original toy did not have a lot of articulation in the claws. It was kind of, they're going to be like this and that's it. This gives you a lot of options in terms of the articulation for the claws and what positions you want to put them in, so I do appreciate that. You're going to come here to this piece on the back. This is going to flip up, and I will say trying to get this scorpion head out of here, it's kind of challenging. I don't remember the original toy being this difficult with it. I kind of have to use something to kind of pry the head out of there. So let's see, maybe if I can flip this, use my little tweezers here. There we go. So we want to, I probably don't have enough clearance. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't pull the, you got to come down here and pull the waist down. Come on, you. There we go. Once you do that, then this can go a little bit further back, which means this can go back, and then you can get that scorpion head out of there a little bit easier. So that just flips out of there and then comes straight down and just kind of hangs over top of the two shoulder pads. I wish the head was a little bit bigger so that it would kind of completely cover the shoulder pads and then stop like about here, but it is what it is. So now we're going to come to this waist section, which I still think is really strange. You're going to turn this like this. You're going to drop this down. So whereas before this was kind of rocked up here, you're going to put this all the way back up here and then bring this in like so. And that's going to kind of click there. This will drop down. You're going to take this leg, rotate this like this. This is going to come up, and this gray, not gray, I guess tan, little tip of the foot is going to fit in here. And so you kind of line that up till it fits in there, and then you just hide the foot in there so that this whole leg hides in the back of the scorpion tail. And then this is going to just kind of come up here. You're going to tuck this back, and this just kind of sits as flush to this as you can. It really feels like at one point the tip of the toe was kind of supposed to fit inside there. You can almost kind of see how there's like a little slit. And I've really tried to get the tip of the toe in there, and I just can't do it. It looks close, but I just can't make it. I kind of wish that it did, though, because then it would make it sit nice and flush, but it just kind of sits in there like that, and you can kind of close this around it if you want, and then you just kind of position the scorpion legs on the little ball joints that they're on. So let me zoom out here. And there is your scorpion mode. It's not terrible. Like I said, there's a couple things with this that I really don't love. I think it's weird to just have like this panel just open under here. You can really just kind of see the head. That doesn't really store away anywhere. You just have the shoulder pads right there, and the little scorpion head doesn't quite clear them. Like I said, if they could have done something where the head kind of clipped over top of the shoulders and then like pretty much completely covered them, I'd be fine with it. But the head just feels too small. I mean, the legs are fine. I don't really have a problem with how the legs work in Scorpion mode. I think they look pretty good. The tail's okay. You don't really have a ton of range of motion, though, because once the leg is in there, keeping it like in place, you really just have this hinge and then this little ball joint for the stinger. So you can't really get, like, the original toy had like a spring-loaded gimmick where this came all the way forward and stabbed here, and that was kind of cool, and I certainly didn't expect them to do that again. But it's just, you lose a lot of the range of motion with the tail because that leg's in there. And again, these are all problems with the original mold. There's nothing different here. This is not any kind of a remold with the exception of the new head. So all the problems I'm citing are just problems I had with the original Scorponok. But I do really like the color scheme. I mean, I keep coming back to that because that's really the main reason I decided to pick this up. The tan, the purple, and the orange probably shouldn't work, but for whatever reason, they really do for me. I just think he's like a fun Halloween Transformer. I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, he's neat. I mean, like I said, you still have all the same range of motion here in the arms that you had in the robot mode. You can open up those pincers. You can use those same accessories. They're all still readily available, or you can just take them out if you just want them to have pincer claws to grab enemies so they don't get in the way. But yeah, you got a decent amount of articulation here because it's really just the arms that you're getting the articulation from. So it's okay. I think the Scorpion mode's all right. Nothing amazing. Really just the head. The Scorpion head is probably my biggest problem. If that was just a little bit bigger and came a little bit farther forward, I think I would like the Scorpion mode a lot more. So I think Sandstorm's alright. The best thing he has going for him is his color scheme. If you own Scorponok, you know exactly what you're getting with this guy. Not really any surprises. The new head sculpt is fine. I think it looks kind of cool. Definitely reminiscent of the original monster head from the original toy. So I think they did a nice job with that. It's a little weird how the channel for the ball joint works at the neck. You can kind of kick it all the way off very easily if you want, but it does give you some extra range of motion if you want to utilize it. But you can kind of lock it into position if you want to keep it nice and snug, so I think that's kind of cool. Same accessories as the original Scorponok with the bee and the little missile pods, so again, no surprises there, but it's just kind of a fun repaint with a new head sculpt. But like I said, if you just want the new head sculpt and you don't really care about this color scheme, I believe we are going to get an original Toy Colors version of this mold again with this head, so you could just get that from the 4-pack from Target. So it's really just kind of how many Scorponoks do you need at the end of the day. But like I said, for me, I really like the color scheme for this guy, so that's why I went ahead and picked him up. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.